Last November, a horrifying incident shook the community of Idaho University when 4 students, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogen, Kaylee Goncalves, and Xana Kernadal, were brutally stabbed to death in their own beds. The news of their tragic deaths sent shockwaves through the university and the entire region. The authorities immediately launched a massive manhunt to find the perpetrator responsible for this heinous crime, bringing fear and uncertainty to the once peaceful campus. The incident occurred in a house where Madison and Xana resided, and where Kaylee had recently moved out but had returned that fateful night for a party. Ethan, Xana's boyfriend, was staying over at the house when the unimaginable tragedy unfolded. Thankfully, the 2 other female roommates living in the house managed to escape unharmed, their lives spared from the horrifying murder spree. The events leading up to the incident were pieced together through various accounts. Ethan and Xana had attended a party at the Sigma Chi fraternity on campus before returning home around 1:45 a.m. Meanwhile, Madison and Kaylee had spent their evening at the Corner Club, a popular sports bar downtown, until 1:30 a.m. Shortly after, they left, supposedly to take an Uber ride home. However, the initial police report was later revised, revealing that they were provided a ride by a private party. The students arrived home at 1:56 a.m., unknowingly stepping into a nightmare waiting to unfold. Between 2:26 and 2:52 a.m., Kaylee made several unsuccessful phone calls to her former long-term boyfriend, while Madison attempted to reach him 3 times during the same time frame. The police investigated these calls, but their suspicions didn't fall on the boyfriend. Meanwhile, around 4 a.m., Xana received a DoorDash order, unaware of the horror that would unfold shortly thereafter. The surviving roommates initially believed they had slept through the entire incident, safely tucked away on the ground floor of the house. However, the truth emerged through the affidavit for the case, revealing that one of the survivors had been sleeping on the 2nd floor, where Xana and Ethan were located. Startled awake, she mistook the presence of someone in the house for Kaylee, who she believed had returned. Overhearing sounds of crying and a male voice reassuring someone, she began to grasp the horror unfolding around her. Security cameras captured chilling evidence of the unfolding tragedy. At around 4:17 a.m., whimpering, a loud thud, and the barking of a dog echoed through the house. The surviving roommate, frozen in shock, opened her door for the 3rd time and caught a glimpse of an intruder dressed in black, their face concealed by a mask. The person walked past her, exiting through the sliding glass door without seeming to notice her. The roommate stood paralyzed by fear before sliding into her room, locking the door behind her. The gruesome sight of the crime scene revealed the extent of the horror that unfolded that night. Madison and Kaylee were discovered lifeless in Madison's bedroom, while Xana and Ethan were found in Xana's room, their lives cruelly taken from them while they lay defenseless in their beds. There were no signs of restraint or an attempt to silence them. All of this remained undiscovered until hours later when a call was finally made to 911 at 11:58 a.m. The call came from within the residence, placed by one of the surviving roommates using her cell phone. Upon their arrival, the police found the door open, with no signs of forced entry or internal damage, and nothing appeared to be missing from the scene. The 2 surviving roommates were present, accompanied by friends of the victims. The roommates had called their friends to the house after discovering one of the victims unresponsive on the 2nd floor. The identity of the 911 caller remained undisclosed, and they were not considered a suspect in the tragic events that unfolded. At noon, the 4 victims were officially declared deceased, leaving the community in a state of shock and mourning. Detectives deduced that the brutal killings had occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. As night fell, police officers encountered Kaylee's beloved dog, alive and unharmed. The search for answers and justice had just begun, as investigators worked tirelessly to uncover the truth behind the senseless act of violence that had forever altered the lives of the victims' families, friends, and the entire Greenwood University community. After an intense and exhaustive month-long search, law enforcement officials finally made a breakthrough in the case. They apprehended a man named Bryan Kohberger as the primary suspect in the murders. Bryan's arrest sent ripples of relief through the community, providing a glimmer of hope for justice and closure for the victims' families. Kohberger, a criminal justice student, struggled with mental health issues in his teenage years but claimed to have improved and stopped using drugs. He developed an interest in criminals and aspired to work with high-profile offenders. He studied forensic psychology at DeSales University and completed both a bachelor's and master's degree. In 2022, he conducted a survey about crimes as a student investigator. Recently, he had been studying at Washington State near the University of Idaho. Prior to the killings, he actively participated in discussions about forensics and evidence, and even after the incident, he continued grading papers as a teaching assistant. As Bryan was transported back to Idaho State, details regarding his arrest began to emerge, captivating the attention of the public and leaving them astonished. Bryan, maintaining his innocence, confidently asserted that he looked forward to being released. One of the key pieces of evidence that significantly challenged Bryan's claims of innocence was the discovery of his DNA on the knife sheath used in the brutal attack. This revelation raised serious doubts about his claims to be innocent and strengthened the prosecution's case against him. Forensic experts meticulously analyzed the crime scene, leaving no stone unturned in their quest for justice. Additionally, the investigation received crucial testimony from a surviving roommate, who expressed her desire to remain anonymous for personal safety reasons. She bravely recounted her horrifying experience, revealing that she was present in the house at the time of the murders. According to her account, she witnessed a tall, masked man dressed entirely in black with distinctive bushy eyebrows. The surviving roommate recalled being awakened around 4 a.m. by what she initially thought was Kaylee Goncalves playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms on the 3rd floor. However, she soon realized the true nature of the situation when the masked assailant attacked her friends. The survivor's testimony added a chilling dimension to the case, providing a glimpse into the terror and violence that unfolded within the confines of their shared home. Her account, coupled with the DNA evidence, presented a compelling narrative against Bryan Kohberger, potentially dealing a severe blow to his claims of innocence. Kohberger was arrested for 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. He was appointed a public defender and detained without bond at the Monroe County Correctional Facility in Pennsylvania. He agreed to extradition and was flown to Pullman, where he was held without bail at the Loudoun County Jail. Kohberger appeared in court and was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. He was later indicted by a grand jury on the same charges. Kohberger refused to enter a plea during his arraignment, and a not guilty plea was entered for him. On February 24, 2023, an announcement was made by University of Idaho President C. Scott Green regarding the house where the tragic killings took place. It was revealed that the house had been generously donated to the university. However, due to the somber history associated with the property, it was decided that the house would be demolished. This decision aimed to ensure that the site would no longer serve as a painful reminder of the horrific event. In honor and remembrance of the 3 victims, Kernodle, Chapin, and Mogan, the university took proactive steps to establish scholarships bearing their names. These scholarships were created with the purpose of commemorating the lives and aspirations of the victims. By providing financial support to deserving students, these scholarships would help carry forward the legacies of Kernodle, Chapin, and Mogan, ensuring that their memory would live on through the academic pursuits of future scholars.